You guys caught me reading again. Well, today what I'm reading is Whatever You Are, Be a Good One, and they have 100 inspirational quotes. Check out this one. With freedom, books, flowers, and the moon, who could not be happy? That's by Oscar Wilde. Check out this illustration. It's pretty cool, huh? But you're not here to talk about inspirational quotes. Today, we're going to go over the equation of photosynthesis. Let's get started. Before we get started, I do have a question for you. My question is, what do all of these organisms have in common? So if I look over here, I have plants, I have multicellular algae, protease, purple sulfur bacteria, and cyanobacteria. What do they all have in common? Well, they're not all the same color. They're not all from the same kingdom. I mean, I see Protista, I see Eubacteria, I see Plantae. They're not the same size. I can see that because these three need a microscope, and these ones you can see with your eyes. What do they all have in common? Well, let's take a look. What they all have in common is that they are all photosynthetic. So, let's take a look at this. Photosynthesis. This is something we've gone over, but we're going to go over a little bit more in depth. Well, the reason we're going over this, if you're saying, we've gone over this before, Miss De Leon, why would we go over this? Well, for your biology star next year, this is considered a supporting standard to compare the reactants and products of photosynthesis and cellular respiration, which we'll learn next week, in terms of energy conversions, and matter. And in AP Biology, when you take that in 9th grade, you have Big Idea 2. And Big Idea 2 is about 25% of the content. A lot of it deals with energy, the use of it, the creating of it. And so with that, here comes photosynthesis. So let's take a look. Let's review what photosynthesis is. Photosynthesis is the process where plants are some protists and bacteria are going to go ahead and use light, convert that energy, and turn it into chemical, which ends up being food. So the big thing that we should focus on today are the reactants and products. I'm going to do a quick overview, and then I need to go over a way that you can remember what the reactants and the products are. For photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide and light. Photosynthesis produces oxygen and glucose. So that means your reactants of photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, water, and light, and the products are oxygen and glucose. So follow my mouse. I have my reactants to the left side, so carbon dioxide, water, light, and then I have my products that are on the right side, my glucose and my oxygen. So you might be saying to yourself, here, let me get myself out of the way there. You might be saying to yourself, well, how can I remember? Because when we went over photosynthesis, I knew people could tell me all of these factors that play into photosynthesis, but a lot of people had trouble talking to me about the equation. And it's really important by 7th grade that we get a strong handle on the equation so that way it doesn't, it allows us to add to our foundational knowledge in 9th grade AP Biology. So this is the way that I remember. I really, really love the movie Mean Girls. I think it's so funny. And there's a part where one girl goes to the other, you're like really pretty. And so the way that you can remember your reactants and your products is by really pretty. So anything that's on the left side of the arrow, we categorize in the really area. Anything that's on the right side, we're going to consider the pretty area. So what does this have to do with reactants and products? Well, R for really is the first letter of our reactants. And then pretty starts with P, and so does products. So for example, if I said, carbon dioxide Is that a reactant or a product of photosynthesis? You can think, okay, really pretty. Okay, I know carbon dioxide is on the left side. The left side is really, that means it's a reactant. Or if I said, okay, what about water? Is water a reactant or a product? You can look at this and think to yourself, okay, I can see water's on the left side of the arrow. The left side is really, which means it's a reactant. Now this one's a little bit more tough. For sunlight, I know it's on top of the arrow. For 7th grade, we're going to consider it to be on the left side of the equation. So if I say, okay, is light a reactant or a product? I say, okay, if it's considered on the left side, then that means it's part of really, so it's a reactant. Now let's say I said, what about glucose? Glucose is this molecule right here. I would say, it's on the right side, so really, pretty. Pretty is on the right side. P is for products. Now let's say I said, okay, what about oxygen? Is oxygen a reactant or is it a product of photosynthesis? Well, I would look at my equation. It's on the right side, so I have really, pretty. It's on the side of the pretty. P is for products. Another way that you can remember what's on what side of the equation is required and what is produced. So what's required for photosynthesis is carbon dioxide, water, and light. What does photosynthesis produce? Sugar and oxygen. So with that being said, that is the main thing I want you to go ahead and learn this lesson. I have also included really pretty reactants, products required and produced in your assignment to also help you answer the questions. So your assignment today for this lesson is just to really understand the photosynthesis equation before we go over more mechanics of photosynthesis. You have a total of 10, you have a total of 10 multiple choice questions so that we can make sure that you understand the photosynthetic equation. With that being said, I hope you have a great day. I need to get back to my book now of inspirational quotes. Every time I read it, I just learn a new quote, and it's just so good.